Broadcasting live from the studios of World Dairy Expo in Madison, Wisconsin, USA. This is WXPO News.
Good morning and welcome back to WXPO News at 10 on this Wednesday morning, October 3rd. I'm Laura Hirschleb. Here's what's to come up on today's show. Twice sure is nice for Palmyra Berkeley P. Ruth. She was exhibited by Evan Creek of Palmyra Ayrshires and defended her Grand Champion Ayrshire title yesterday. Also on the colored shavings, we saw the International Junior Ayrshire Show and the International Holstein Show. We have full results ahead. The dairy industry is filled with impactful and influential leaders from around the world. Before they are formally recognized tonight at the Dinner of the Stars, the 2018 Expo Recognition Award winners are here to sit down with us. Daily Expo vlogs produced by Master's Choice are back after a successful first year in 2017. Stay tuned for today's installment and see what exhibitors and attendees were up to yesterday. Yesterday, Agrimatic, a longtime World Dairy Expo trade show exhibitor, launched a new product in their booth. The Expo team had the chance to meet up with Dean Berschbach, owner of Agrimatic, last week as the company prepared for their launch.
And we're in the
I've been going to Expo back from my FFA days, and so learning how things have changed and evolved and gotten so much larger. It's been a kind of a cool thing for me to see. So Agrimatic is a 100-plus-year-old company. It was formed back in 1899. We've been going to World Dairy Expo for 51 out of the 52 years that Dairy Expo's been in place. The early on years of displaying at Expo, I can only remember as a younger person, maybe just helping out and picking up and things like that. But once I became a salesman in 1999 for the company, I pretty much been going to Madison for, it took a week out of my life every year to spend at World Dairy Expo, and it's been a fun time. You meet a lot of great colleagues and a lot of other professionals in the industry, along with how many great farmers come through the booth. World Dairy Expo is one of the more prestigious trade shows, I think, in the world. Close to home for us, being 50, 60 miles from Madison, and being right in our backyard, being in America's Dairyland here in Wisconsin. It gives us a little extra boost to promote them new products, bring them out into an atmosphere where people are there looking for the new innovative ideas and wanting to take those back to their farm, or even work with other vendors that are looking to promote our products in other parts of the world. So it's a very good opportunity for us to share all those things. Sense that the mood's not going to be as robust and as interest, but even in the down times, professionals in the dairy industry spend a lot of time researching what they're going to do when things turn around, and it's a good time for them to gather all their information and see what they want to do when things do turn around. And with all cow comfort type products, we pretty much deal with anything that handles the cows on the dairy farm. We are involved with the stalls, the gatings, the matting, the ventilation, the feeding stuff. We work with a small amount of manure stuff, and back in the days we were an innovator. Agrimatic has several patents from years past that the original AF cleansing invented, and those were products most commonly used on the farm as far as barn cleaner parts, silo unloader parts, as simple as water bowls that watered the cows for the cows to drink out of in the barn. So there was lots of different products that Agrimatic's been involved in through the years. A bit to do with our ventilation side, And it's very exciting for us because we work in this industry for the last 4 or 5 years to grow this industry, and I think this is going to give us a nice advantage of being able to compete with the big players in the ventilation industry. Pretty much over on the we're kind of, I would say, in the center part of the Dairy Expo Hall. We have a nice display with a cardboard barn up in the air on a truss, so you pretty much will be able to see us. We're going to have some flashy lights going on, but yeah, we're right in the center of Dairy Expo.
Agrimatic isn't the only company launching new products this week at Expo, and I think we all know that's what makes World Dairy Expo so special. Be sure to visit the Innovation Unveiled feature on Expo's website, worlddairyexpo.com, to view a list of the newest technology in the dairy industry. Before we sit down with our award winners, let's do a check of the markets. Joining us this morning from the Market Report is Joe Gill from Chasm Radio in Albany, Minnesota. How are the markets looking this morning, Joe?
Laura, thank you very much here at World Dairy Expo. I know it's going to warm up today. I wish the markets would be doing the same, but our Class 3 milk futures are lower here today. We're seeing October milk 9 cents lower at $15.85, November 13 cents lower at $16.16, December 11 cents lower at $16.02. We're seeing under $16 milk futures into the new year for January, February, and March. So we hope some of those trends will correct here when we look at your Class 3 futures. A look at butter and cheese yesterday. Recapping that, butter was 3 3/4 cents higher yesterday at $2.33.5. Your blocks of cheese, we saw a lower trend across the board in the blocks and the barrels yesterday. Your cheddar blocks were 3 3/4 cents lower, $1.71. Your barrels of cheese, 3.5 lower at $1.38.50. So a lot of folks on hand here at World Dairy talking about these trends. What's all going to factor in seeing a better dairy market as we move ahead, possibly? Is it with this new agreement with the U.S., Mexico, and Canada? Still getting some of these details in this new NAFTA program, and hopefully this is really going to push up some of these prices as we enter a new year and try and find some certainty in this dairy market. That's a look at some dairy numbers here this morning at World Dairy Expo. Laura, back to you.
Thanks so much, Joe. And let's hope, just like you said, that in 2019 we see some better numbers. And boy, today's warm temperatures here at the show should certainly help that as well. This evening, World Dairy Expo will honor 5 dairy leaders with recognition awards during the 48th annual Dinner with the Stars banquet. We will be sitting down with 2 of these award winners in a minute. But first, Palmyra Berkeley P. Ruth once again reigns victorious in the International Ayrshire Show with her repeat performance as grand champion. As any dairy cattle producer knows and breeder knows, that is not an easy task. Ruth is owned and exhibited by Palmyra Farms, Evan Creek of Hagerstown, Maryland. With the title, Ruth is taking home the $1,000 Udder Comfort Grand Champion Cash Award and the coveted Allen Hetz Trophy. The reserve champion of the 2018 International Ayrshire Show is Marley Gentleman Carmina, exhibited by Peter Vale and Mike and Linda Hellenbrand of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. Here we see some footage from our show, and it certainly was a remarkable International Ayrshire Show. These 2 cows were selected as winners among a field of 273 entries. Serving as our official judge was Callum McKinven of Canton-de-Hatley, Quebec, Canada, and his associate judge, Dean Malcolm, traveled all the way from Victoria, Australia. Palmyra Farms was also honored with the Premier Breeder and Exhibitor banners. And we can see some impressive udder shots on the camera. It certainly was a deep, high-quality International Ayrshire Show. Coming up, we also have results from 2 junior shows that took place yesterday on the colored shavings. But first, a word from our sponsors.
newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
Welcome back. It is World Dairy Expo, as we know, and this evening we'll be recognizing our recognition award winners at our Dinner with the Stars, and I'm so honored to have with us this morning our Dairy Woman of the Year, Jeanette Sheehan. Jeanette, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you please tell our viewers about yourself and just about the excitement of this award? I've so enjoyed visiting you with you this morning about it.
Well, it's quite an honor, and I'm so humbled and so honored to receive this award, especially when I wasn't sure I didn't know I was nominated. So that was the excitement of the whole thing, is getting the call that I had been selected and if I would accept this award. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's such an elite group of women, and I'm like, I'm so proud to be part of this.
Well, you certainly have done some incredible things, not only on the home farm, but throughout Minnesota and for the dairy industry. Can you share some of those things that you've been doing?
After I looked at what I have done, I'm like, you add it up, and the years have gone by. I guess I've done a lot of things, but my favorite has been working with youth and the dairy judging. I've always been passionate about that, and so coaching dairy judging and being involved in 4-H was my first passion that started the whole chain of reactions. And I came from a 4-H family, and I came from a dairy family, and so I just grew from there. And after I got married, my husband and I started dairy farming, and we just kind of had a goal to raise our family on the farm, build good cows, and type and production as well, cows that pay the bills, but they're fun to work with. And so we've just had, we have 60 cows on our farm. We're in a partnership with the 2 other brothers and nephews. So we milk a total of about 300 cows on 2 different sites. We have a freestall site and a parlor site, and a tie stall site. So the tie stall is where we grew our family.
Well, and speaking of those special cows, so many of us have such fond memories from the 50th anniversary World Dairy Expo when you were gracing the shavings with Thomas, as so many affectionately know, Sheenold Durham Arrow, and went on to be Grand Champion and Reserve Supreme Champion. Can you just share, can you think back and capture that experience in words? I know as a viewer and a friend, I had tears in my eyes. It was amazing.
Yeah, that day was so magical. She wasn't leading as well for me as I wanted her in the ring, but when I was appointed first in the class, all my life, World Dairy Expo has kind of been a big thing. I remember in 1965 when my dad was a breeder for Curtis, and they had started the Expo, and then I had judging teams at Expo, and we started bringing cows to Expo, and this is a dream. It wasn't probably our goal, but it was a dream. And that day, it was so magical that I thought, I won the class, oh my goodness. And then it just kept getting better, and the final was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
That's amazing. And I know that sadly, it was a sad day back in May when Thomas went to, show cow heaven. But I believe she had shared that you have a lot of her offspring and genetics spread throughout your herd. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've tried to, you always want to keep everything because she was a special cow to us. But we've consigned some animals to sales, and there's animals we've sold embryos, and they're in Europe, and we've got one consigned for the World Classic on Friday night. And so she holds a special place in our heart, and she's buried right on the farm. So the day that she calved, she was 8 years old, and she had her 6th calf. So she did her job.
Absolutely.
She did her job, and time and stuff happens.
Right.
So we're sad to see her go. We've had a lot of people looking at her, and we've had a lot of attention because of her. And so we're so grateful for the memories she gave us, and the friends that we've made, and the networking that we've done through the dairy industry.
So well deserved, so exciting. You know, another thing that you've been actively involved in off the farm was the development of the Miracle of Birth barn at the Minnesota State Fair. Can you share a little bit about that and how that's grown? Olmsted Fair, pardon me. Yes,
correct,
pardon me.
correct.
Sorry about that.
No, the Minnesota State Fair is way bigger.
My apologies. Can you share what, I know that was one of the first kind of birthing barns that got started. Can you talk about that?
Yep. We live in Rochester, Minnesota, and if you don't know where that is, the Mayo Clinic says it all, and former IBM. So we have a pretty big population of suburbia, and the fairgrounds were donated by the Mayo Graham brothers, the Graham doctors, and so here we are sitting right in the middle. What can we do to educate or to show our everyday life? And so a group of us decided that this would be probably a good project. Let's mimic it to the Minnesota State Fair, but it has to be as quality as that. And so we developed it, and every year it's been a very popular site. In fact, you know, you just never know. You're always on a learning curve. So our first birth wasn't the best birth, but we had a lot of understanding because of the population of medical in the city. We had a lot of understanding, and so it's just a great experience for everybody. And we have repeat people every year, and they look forward to it. We've gone to social media now, so we interact with the people to let them know, and it's pretty popular.
I know that's been a lot of fun. I've followed along. In conclusion, can you just, if you had any words of wisdom for young producers getting involved in the industry, or quite frankly, producers of all ages, what would you suggest? What do you recommend in this kind of trying time for the dairy industry?
You know, I've been around a long time, so I have seen the ups and downs, and this isn't the first ups and downs. It's kind of, you just have to be tenacious. You have a goal. You need to stay on focus. Surround yourself with good people and good advice, and just have fun. You know, make the best of what you have. I guess that's what Mom and Dad always taught our family, is do with what you have and make the best of it and be happy and satisfied.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeanette.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure, and congratulations to Jeanette Sheehan, our Dairy Woman of the Year.
Thank you.
Certainly the next frontier of World Dairy Expo are our youth exhibitors, and they learn, and so many of them learn from the wonderful role models that we have all had within the dairy industry. One of those operations, and certainly no stranger, Milk Source Genetics is making significant investments and a focus on how they can support our youth exhibitors here at World Dairy Expo and the youth as they develop within the dairy industry. We'll turn it over to a feature, and Jim Ostrom, who will be speaking about Milk Source's commitments and contributions.
So I grew up working on a 60-cow dairy farm near Watertown, Wisconsin. It's actually a pretty well-known farm, Rosie Lane Holsteins. And that's where I fell in love with the business, and I couldn't shake it. Then I went off to college and ended up with a degree in agricultural economics. And I visited a large farm in California one year while I was in college, and I thought, wow, we could do that here. And we started a conversation with my business partner, John Vosters, and my other business partner, Todd Willer, eventually joined the organization. And we grew this business to different size farms with larger farms throughout the Midwest. And it's just evolved over the years, and we're just thrilled to be a part of it.
This is our 11th year showing, and we're looking forward to bringing probably 18 head, a Jersey cow, some cute little Jersey heifers, a couple red cows, and some black and white cows, so we're quite excited.
Kind of household name kind of cows, Dempsey Dina, Dempsey Ripley, and Dundee Annika. Annika's standing right here. She just went 97, and we're excited to have her on the string this year. Just to have cows that could theoretically compete at the best show in the world is absolutely fabulous. And to be competing with these great breeders from Canada and the United States and enthusiasts, we're just honored to be a part of it. Of course, we want to do well, but you know, it's World Dairy Expo, and we're going to give it our best shot, but we're just excited to be a part of it.
Well, we're involved in sponsorship of the youth show. We do a scholarship for people who buy our prefixed animals at our sales, and if they win a class at World Dairy Expo, there's a cash scholarship for the youth to do that. And so we thought, well, that's right in line with our values of promoting the young people in this And so we want to encourage as many people to get involved in the business. And what happens when you do that is people fall in love. They fall in love with this industry, and that makes people very passionate about it. And we're really thrilled to sponsor. You know, when we started out, I honestly wrote down our goals. My goal was to get a ribbon at World Dairy Expo, and to climb that mountain and to have great cows like Martha and Patricia and Sizeme and Dina, who won at the Royal last year, and Annika and Ripley, cows that are kind of household name kind of cows. It's really a treat, and it's humbling, and I also know that it is the credit of the breeders and those folks that take care of these animals every day and at the show.
Best of luck to the team at Milk Source this week and to all of our exhibitors showcasing their animals in the pavilions as well as in the tents. Now we are joined by a pair of familiar faces here to World Dairy Expo, and that is Dr. Dan Hornicle and Dr. Chris Keim, our 2018 Industry People of the Year. Congratulations, gentlemen. It is such a pleasure to have you both here with us. Sunshine Genetics is known worldwide. Can you talk, just give us all some background about how the business formed and where it is today?
Well, Chris and I were college house brothers together, both interested in veterinary medicine, both interested in registered cattle and in the technologies that were being talked about at that time. And from the time that Chris graduated in 1976, we made up our mind that this was technology that would serve us well as our clients to develop registered cattle using embryo technology.
Wonderful. And Dr. Keim, can you talk a little bit about the operation down in Whitewater for those viewers that might not have had the opportunity to come for one of those judging practice tour stops or something like that? Can you share just what it looks like, how many acres, things like that?
Well, there are changes that continue today in progress. Dr. Hornicle and I sold the business to Dr. Schiller a year ago, or I guess 18 months ago, and he continues to make some changes on the farm as far as housing, expanding housing opportunities for heifers and cows, has a nice system for cooling animals and keeping them comfortable in the summertime in particular. They're farming about 200 acres, and some of that land is owned by Dan and I that we rent to the business, obviously. The technology continues to change. They're doing more in vitro fertilization work all the time, and many of their heifers and clients that have heifers and cows take advantage of both procedures, conventional embryo production, primarily for export, and in vitro fertilization as well.
Those cooling technologies are going to come in awfully handy on a day like today when it's going to spike to 81, and then they'll have to work with the ventilation system when it cools off again this weekend. I was hearing bad reports of whether that's to come, so let's hope it cooperates. So I know one of the affectionate ways you both have been referred to as is the Sunshine Boys, and one of the things that you've always been so focused on is giving to the next generation, whether it be, as I mentioned, supporting youth through the youth judging contest practices over the weekend and welcoming them out to the farm, supporting young veterinarians getting started. Can you talk about why do you do that? I mean, that's an amazing extra step. Why have you made that a point?
Well, I think that as Chris and I developed our business through the years, we relied on other mentors that shared willingly what they knew in the business. We have had the opportunity to host and train other veterinarians that have shown a particular interest in reproduction. We encourage that. This is a procedure, and the care of these cows, we think it's important to have the influence of veterinary care for these animals. So we have always been open to interested veterinary students to come and spend time with us and have us teach them the techniques that we've learned over the years.
Certainly, and given your close proximity to UW-Madison, it's awfully convenient that way. I mean, and centrally located near other vet schools throughout the Midwest.
I might add that many of the veterinary schools, or most veterinary schools, do not have any training, even introduction to the techniques that we use, and very few reliable short courses, for instance. So this is an opportunity that we can provide to veterinary students that they normally wouldn't have.
Well, and that hands-on training, I think for anyone in certainly your line of business and for those vet students, and I think any of us from the Badger Dairy Club kids, getting to just get to work hands-on, get to work side by side by the most knowledgeable resources is just invaluable. So tonight you will be formally recognized, but you know, we've been so honored to get to highlight all the great things and contributions that you've both made to the dairy industry. What was it like when you were notified? I mean, what was your initial reaction when you were informed that you're going to be the Industry People of the Year?
Well, I was remote. I was in Arizona at the time, and Chris actually sent me an email that came from Scott Bentley, and I really didn't quite comprehend it at first. I said, so what am I supposed to do here? So we responded. It was quite a surprise for us.
Sure.
I was honored at the time because we both know veterinarians that have been honored previously and feel humbled to be involved with a recognition program that has honored people like Lee Allenstein, who was a former partner of Dan's in Whitewater, and also Sheila McGurk, that's done a lot for educating the best veterinarians that have come out of Madison.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. So what's next for the two of you? I heard a trip, it sounds like you spent some time down in Arizona.
Yep.
What else is on the horizon after you celebrate all that you've achieved with not only tonight, but throughout the week?
Well, Chris and I both had an interest. We actually just returned from a 2-week trip together. There were 3 couples of us in Italy, and the exciting part about that is this has afforded us the ability to go back and reconnect with people that we had business contacts with over the years. They became personal friends, and now we can go back and visit them on a personal level, and it's been very rewarding. So that's a big share of our time.
That's great. So for our viewers that aren't able to get here to World Dairy Expo, and as you've shared, you get to travel globally now, what makes being here at Expo, being located close to Expo, so important? Why do we need to be here? I mean, I think we all, enjoy it and it's in our fabric of who we are, but what makes it so important from a business standpoint?
Well, we were fortunate that our business was located 45 minutes from it. And we didn't realize at the time when we bought this little farm and set up our business 30-some years ago that it would be such an asset for us. As you know, there are many international visitors that come to World Dairy Expo, and they see other dairies not only in Wisconsin but all over the United States if they have time to travel. So many of those people would stop at our business to see, particularly to see the donor cows, to see the genetics. And it's an opportunity for us to see some breeders that had imported genetics from our clients, cows. I got to visit with them. Also veterinarians that would be in these groups would stop to visit with us too. So it was a big advantage, I think, to be located this close to Madison.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you for all that you've contributed to the next generation of vet students, to ET work, to IVF work, and enjoy the recognition, the so well-deserved recognition. And with that, we're going to turn it over and hear a word from our sponsors.
We all know the value of colostrum to a newborn calf. The hard part is keeping a safe and easy-to-use supply on hand. Perfect Udder by Dairy Tech makes colostrum management easy. Collect it, pasteurize it, store it, warm it up, and feed it with a tube or nipple. All from a single-use biosecure bag. Everybody loves a Perfect Udder, so ask for it by name. PerfectUdder.com.
Top Glen Wishful Thinking made good on her name for Tanner, Brennan, Marissa, and Logan Top's wishes by being selected as the first place 5-year-old in the International Junior Ayrshire Show yesterday. Wishful Thinking went on to win the Senior Champion Award before being crowned the Grand Champion Female of the International Junior Ayrshire Show. With these awards, Wishful Thinking received the Lillian and Keith King Award, as well as the Jim King Grand Champion of the Junior Show Award. In addition, they also received a $500 Utter Comfort Grand Champion Cash Award. Here we have some footage again from our International Ayrshire Show yesterday. There were a total of 114 junior-owned animals that were presented to our judges yesterday. Reserve Grand Champion of the International Junior Ayrshire Show was River Valley Gavins Brook. She was exhibited by Megan, Jonathan, Bradley, and Sarah Hill of Bristol, Vermont. Serving as our official judges yesterday were Callum McKinnon of Kenton-Dehatley, Quebec, Canada, and Associate Judge Dean Malcolm from Victoria, Australia. I believe if we saw in the feature yesterday in the Expo Daily Edition, Dean had traveled over 10,000 miles to get here for World Dairy Expo. So thanks for making the trip, Dean. We're so glad to have you. And we'd like to extend a special congratulations to all the junior exhibitors in our International Junior Ayrshire Show yesterday. Yesterday's action was not isolated to the colored shavings. We have a recap on the Master's Choice blog of yesterday's activities. I know watching that video each day and all the footage that our friends and social media fans share each day is so special and truly captures all that is World Dairy Expo. Yesterday was a special day with all the Junior Holstein exhibitors as well as those Ayrshire exhibitors. I am so honored to be joined here today by our Dairyman of the Year, Pete Koppelman. Pete, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are from Meadowbrook Dairy Farm up in Manitowoc, and certainly Northeast Wisconsin is very rich in dairy industry history and very progressive in the next frontier of the industries. Can you talk about the operation?
Sure. Actually, our herd and some of our farmland traces back to my great-grandfather, who then passed it on to his daughter. Turns out there were 4 older brothers. They all went off and did their own thing. And my grandmother was there, worked with her dad on the farm until she was 23, got married to a neighbor boy,
sure.
My grandfather, and then kept passing on from parents to children, and people kept retiring and exiting, and it's now Shelley and I and our 3 kids are now joined the operation as well.
That's fantastic. And what are the roles of, we were just speaking a little bit beforehand that you're starting to think about some family transition planning and across the operation. What are current roles and what does the future look like? I hear you were in Chicago for the Brewers-Cubs game, so hopefully you get to some more of those kind of games.
Well, with 3 kids and a son-in-law on the farm, we have a few less employees because there's more of us doing the work. And so our oldest, Beth, is actually down here volunteering this week. This week is a challenge because it's hard for all of us to get to one place at one time. So this week is a challenge because we all want to be here and we all have a history here working with the Badger Dairy Club and all that. And so Beth is in charge of calves and has taken over bookkeeping and some of the financial planning things. And then our son Mitch is dead center in the herdsman role in genetics, and he still actually works like a half a day a week, a few hours a week for Select Sires.
Really?
He's in charge of their Brown Swiss bull program, and which is helpful for our Brown Swiss
definitely. A little diversification in the herd.
Exactly. And then our youngest is Erin, and she is in charge of milk quality and does some vaccination work, and she's actually, and so they're both of our girls are young moms. So Beth has a 2-year-old Kenny, he'll be here tonight, and Erin, our youngest, has a daughter, Claire, who's 6 months old. So she'll be here tonight too.
So
and then Erin's husband, AJ, he works in the cropping and maintenance and repair area. So so we just got done with a big week of, well, 3 big weeks of fall harvest.
Everything.
Corn.
Were you able to get it
hay.
in before this other burst of rain that we got?
We covered the bunker Saturday night.
A win for sure, right?
Yeah.
Pull some long hours when that's the case.
Exactly.
So I understand there is a bus coming down from Manitowoc to celebrate your announcement as our Dairyman of the Year this evening. And can you just talk about what being selected for this award means to you? What your first reaction was when you heard the exciting news?
So I think part of the reason I got selected was I serve on a lot of different industry groups and boards. And when I got a call and I saw it said World Dairy Expo, I was actually ready to board a plane. It's like, well, I can't take this call, so I got to,
put it to voicemail.
Yeah, and I thought, oh my gosh, do they want me to be on the board? Can I be on one more board? And I think
Shelley let me be on one more board.
I know what my family would vote on that, you know. And so when I took the voicemail, he's like, well, you give me a call. And so I gave him a call, and it's like, you know, he told me, and I'm like, wow, that's like, did no one else apply this year, or why, you know? Because I just didn't think, you know, I just didn't even really think about it. It's not something, I'm not ready to retire, I don't think, unless somebody knows something I don't know. But yeah, it just didn't occur to me that would be something, because this is just for me, it's been a magical place. I had never been here until I was a sophomore in college, my first year down here, and what is this World Dairy Expo thing, you know? So I signed up to work out here with Badger Dairy Club and came out here, and it's once you're here, I think you feel special. You feel like you're part of something that
definitely
only those of us who are here are part of.
Right.
And it's that way every year.
Yep.
You know, feels that way every year. So.
Totally agree. Pete, congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy this evening. You are such a well-deserving Dairyman of the Year, and it truly is a pleasure to have you with us this morning. And we're going to take a short break and hear a word from our sponsors.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
Welcome back. Each day of World Dairy Expo, outstanding booth awards as well as herdsmanship awards are presented. Winning Tuesday's small outstanding booth award was Quality Liquid Feeds. Golden Calf Company was the intermediate outstanding booth award winner. And Mueller was recognized with the large outstanding booth award. Congratulations, commercial exhibitors. And in the barns, Raincrest Farm from Corfu, New York was our herdsmanship winner for Tuesday. These awards are generously sponsored by Econoprint and Select Sires. The show ring was a busy place yesterday with the International Junior Holstein Show also taking place. Ending the show victoriously as the grand champion female was 6-year-old Gam Lake Destry Sally, exhibited by Samantha Gaboni of Petaluma, California. Right here we have some live footage of our junior champion of the junior show, and she hails from down in southwest Wisconsin, Budjon Abbott. I don't remember her last name, but she's exhibited by the Weigel family. Congratulations. As a first-time exhibitor, Samantha will be taking home some great memories, as she will not only have her Grand Champion victory to celebrate, as well as a $500 Udder Comfort Grand Champion Cash Award, and the Lillian and Keith King and Jim King Grand Champion Award. Love Hill Braxton Funky completed the winning duo of yesterday as the second place aged cow, reserve senior champion, and reserve grand champion of the International Junior Holstein Show. 217 animals were exhibited by youth from across North America and were evaluated by official judge Chris Hill of Thurmont, Maryland, as well as his associate judge Robert Texiera of California. Congratulations to all the winners from this outstanding junior show. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly after a word from our sponsors.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
Welcome back. You're taking a live look at Miss Madison right back here at World Dairy Expo. You might not be able to see from the sun, but it's going to be another beautiful day here in Madison. Temperatures are going to rise up to 81 degrees, but we are going to have a brisk breeze, I think, of 25 miles an hour or something. Hopefully the storms they're talking about hold off until after the show. I also want to recognize our International Person of the Year, Alistair Pearson. From dairy farming to beef and horse veterinary work, to providing services to dairy farmers across the world, Alistair Pearson is widely known as the father of the dairy industry in China. He was born in Australia and became a veterinarian back there and has worked all over the world, including in Saudi Arabia, as well as many other countries in that part of the area. He works with agencies in Pakistan, Indonesia, Thailand, Egypt, Australia, and China, among many other countries. We are so thankful to have Alistair here with us at World Dairy Expo for this year. And we certainly congratulate him, as well as all of our recognition winners that we visited with earlier today. And we're going to throw it right back to for a brief commercial break, and we'll be visiting with you shortly. Great.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
We're looking at a live shot of World Dairy Expo. You can see the coon display as well as our arena building. Traffic is picking up today. And of course, it's almost that time. So, I mean, I can eat a grilled cheese sandwich at just about every time of the day. And our line is growing, and we know that it's going to be delicious once again today. We have another busy day here for you at World Dairy Expo. Jersey cows are currently gracing the colored shavings as the International Jersey Show wraps up. Remarkable milking shorthorn cows will cross the colored shavings midday today. And then this afternoon, be sure to get your seat for the start of the International Brown Swiss Show. Something new this year, and we don't want you to forget about the Railbird contest in the Jersey Junior 3-year-old class this morning. And then this afternoon, the Railbird contest will be class 932, our Milking Shorthorn Junior 3-year-olds as well. Find complete details in today's copy of the Expo Daily Edition, which is published by Dairy Star. In the exhibition hall, Expo seminars and virtual farm tours are on docket again for today. Today's Expo seminars will feature Brian Hoyen, owner of a Homestead Dairy LLC, sharing his experiences with large-scale robots. And then this afternoon, Dr. Mark Stevenson, Director of Dairy Policy Analysis at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, will dig into whether or not the next farm bill will help or hurt the dairy industry. Today's virtual farm tours will feature Blue Star Dairy Farms of DeForest, Wisconsin, and Vandermeer Dairy and Freshmade Dairy from Sherwood, Ohio. Make plans to learn all about these fine-tuned operations here on Expo 360 if you're not able to attend. Catch up on the great social events at Expo next, but first, a word from our sponsors.
The newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.
Welcome back to the show. The Tan Bark, which is located on the east end of the Sale Pavilion, opens today at 11. Lunch will be served until 3 p.m. And then happy hour, which is hosted by Holland Dairy Valley, will be from 4 until 6 p.m. While you're visiting the Tan Bark, take a load off and watch the finest dairy cattle in the world from our Bountiful Champion Awards here on Expo TV. This morning's social shout out comes from one of our trade show exhibitors. Actually, we're starting with one of our cattle exhibitors. We have some photos from the wash rack. You can see that despite the chilly temperatures, those cattle are getting washed and primed and primed for the show today. That's all the time we have this morning. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to join us again tomorrow for WXPO News at 10 as we share more results, stories, and moments right here on Expo 360.
newest member of Dairy Tech's herd was bred to help you with the newest member of yours. She's the perfect cross of Dairy Tech pasteurization technology and the simplicity of the perfect udder colostrum management system. At half the price of any competitive product on the market, pasteurizing and warming your colostrum has never been easier or more cost-effective. Say hello, Matilda. Check her out at perfectudder.com.